get to the money. Gotta get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. So you know that I'm on it. Gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids in there. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. And gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids in there. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money.
Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, this episode is sponsored by Joe Shekinab and Shekinab.com. Go visit Shekinab.com for services, monthly updates, and contact information. Once again, visit Shekinab.com, promoting leadership and scholarship. Tonight, y'all know what I'm drinking on as usual, man. I'm drinking on my Crown Vanilla mixed with Dr. Pepper cream soda. So I got my cup, in my hand. No guest this week. It's just me. There's been a lot that's been going on that I want to get into. But first and foremost, I got to say thanks to Nashville Voyager magazine. They did an article on me. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. Also gives me an opportunity to really continue to spread the podcast, Drinking After Dark podcast, and let everybody know, I'm on the come up. So if y'all ever get a chance, man, y'all could go to NashvilleVoyager.com. Y'all could check out the article, man. It's real cool. So I just want to say thanks to Nashville Voyager magazine for giving me the opportunity. So let's go ahead and get started. Y'all know I'm into sports. I'm into sports and things like that. So Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is it's the playoffs that I kind of like. Probably two teams I kind of had, in the conference finals. One on the East and one on the West. I said the Warriors was gonna be my sleeper team, and they're in the Western Conference Finals. I kind of figured the Celtics would be in the Eastern Conference Finals if they went past Milwaukee, which they did. But shout out to Dallas for making it to the Western Conference Finals, and Miami. People sleeping on Miami, so they're doing that thing. And, come next week, I will give you my predictions, after everything plays out. But it's the Miami and Boston series is a great series. Not so much for the Golden State and Dallas series. Golden State's pretty much dominating the series. So we'll see. Like I said, when it's all said and done, I'm gonna do a special episode, special NBA Finals preview episode with a couple of friends. So it's gonna be a great one. So y'all stay on the lookout for that. But I would say this, man. Shout out to Jason Kidd for doing a great job with the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think anybody expected them to get this far. And that team is they doing what they doing. Of course, you could tell if you've been paying attention, like I have. If you've been paying attention, you could tell that they're missing probably like maybe one good piece, or you could get two solid pieces. But overall, man, he's doing a great job, and I already know next season it's going to be tough to really get back to that point, because you think Denver's going to, they're going to be back healthy. Let's put it that way. Murray, Porter Jr., they're going to be healthy. So they're gonna be one of the teams in the West to look out for. And you know, the Clippers. Y'all forget Kawhi pretty much didn't play this season. Paul George, he played, but not as much. So the Clippers, they're gonna, they gonna scare a lot of people. And of course, Phoenix gonna be back, because they supposed to be in the finals. They were one of the favorites to get to the finals, and they didn't get there. So we'll see that. And of course, on the East side, I'm hey, Milwaukee gonna load up. I see Milwaukee coming back. Giannis is gonna get better. I think Middleton is always the key if he stay healthy. The Bucks will be back in the finals. I think Miami, if they could get a big guy that could go with Bam and another scorer. They need another scorer because they do it by committee. But with Jimmy Butler, he's that guy that you go to in the fourth quarter. But I think they get somebody else to help carry that load, so Jimmy could be the closer. I think that'd be all right. But Boston, they gonna be. I think Tatum, his game's gonna continue to improve. I like to see him in the post more. Him and Brown both. I like to see them both in the post more. I like to see Brown slash into the basket more because I think that's his game. He's more of a slasher. But no, they're coming. You're coming, and you never know what's gonna happen with Brooklyn. That's the thing. You see the talent is just are they all committed to it? We all know KD is committed, but is Ben Simmons gonna be committed? Kyrie gonna be committed? We'll see. But yeah, so when it's all said and done, after these Eastern Conference championships is over with, I'm gonna do a special Drinking After Dark podcast episode, NBA Finals preview. So it's gonna be a good one. So y'all stay tuned to that. Now this next story that I pretty much want to get into. It's a sad story. It's a sad story. Texas, was it 14 children? I think they confirmed it was more, but 14 children, one teacher, victims, school shooting, 18-year-old, don't know how he got into the school. I don't know what the security measures was for the school and whatever, but an 18-year-old killed little kids and a teacher. It's and not only that, also killed his own grandmother. After we just had the whole Buffalo shooting, mass shooting happened. With he targeted the elderly Black people at the grocery store. This stuff is getting out of hand, and this shouldn't even be a political debate. I mean, I know a lot of people are for the Second Amendment. Nobody is, in my opinion, I don't think anybody's against the Second Amendment. I know I'm not, and I'm not going to talk about politics because that's something I don't do on this podcast. But what I will say is this: I think this is not a red thing. This is not a blue thing. This is a safety issue. We're talking about protecting our kids. We're at a point now. It's like no place is safe. No place is safe. Not schools, not churches, homes. It's not safe anywhere anymore, right? And I think we're at a point where I think the government gonna have to start putting their differences aside and basically come together and say, you know what, enough is enough. And if you got people on whatever side that's arguing against it, then you know where people stand. because I'm a firm believer, for one, I'm a firm believer that every single school, regardless where they're located at, should have metal detectors. And not only should they have metal detectors, but they should also have at least 2 SRO officers at all times, right? You should have an SRO officer who's at the front of the school and one that's always walking around the school, right? Whether it's like they rotating, they rotating and stuff like that, but I think you should have 2 at all times. And I've heard comments where they said they should arm the teachers and everything. I said, no, don't arm the teachers, because you never know what a kid is going through that day. And if they could get a hold of that weapon, they could do some damage. So I think you just need trained professionals there to, roam the schools. Because see, the thing about it is now, when it starts trickling down to the elementary schools, now people are all up in arms. It's like it's a continuing pattern, whether it's high school, you see it in middle school, now you see it in elementary school. You see it in college. Just was it? We had like I said, we had the Buffalo shooter, and then we also had the shooter in California. At some point we got to say, okay, enough is enough. This has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with right and wrong, common sense. And the problem is that we have gotten rid of common sense. That's the problem. We have gotten rid of common sense, and what can we do about it? I thought personally, I thought the NBA should have canceled Game 4 just for the day and moved it back one day. In my opinion, they should have done that. Because it was a situation that happened, and of course, both coaches they weren't in the right mind. I know the players probably weren't in their right mind to really play this game. I think they should have pushed it back one day, and let the families, let people just deal with it. But they played, and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure the Mavericks won, so I think they're up 3-1. So when this podcast airs, I think they're playing again. I want to say Thursday, maybe Friday. Either way it goes, the next time they play, this podcast will already be recorded. So, but I just felt like they should have just probably just wait a day, because I gotta give Coach Kerr and Coach Kidd, their minds weren't they weren't even focused on the game. And unfortunately, we have reporters out there who want to focus on the game, but it was something that was much bigger than the game. And I'm glad these two addressed it. Certain guys who will call it out. And if you haven't seen Steve Kerr's reaction, I suggest you guys go on YouTube and look at the reaction. I don't think nobody could argue what he was saying. He's putting this on all the senators. He's putting this on them. Doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Listen, at some point, you have to do what's right. Some point you have to do what's right. Forget about what your personal belief is. When you see children affected by this, when you see kids who won't even get a chance to grow up and become somebody, right? When that happens, all bets are off. I don't care what your belief is. I don't care what their belief is. When you see little kids like this get murdered in a place where they should be protected, which we all know is even just hard just to get inside the school, right? Come on, man. Come on. it gotta be, they gotta just say, all right, enough is enough. If nothing doesn't happen, I think the people, we have to start demanding and holding our leaders accountable. I think that's what we need to start doing. And if they can't do the job, y'all know what to do. So I'm a type of person, I don't care if you're on the left or the right, have common sense. Have common sense. It's just, we threw it out the window a long time ago. Common sense has been gone a long time ago, and I don't know how it went that way. I don't know. I don't know what go through people's minds. You know how in school you have you do critical thinking, those critical thinking problems. I'm saying to myself, why we need critical thinking? Why not just have common sense? Because it's really not that deep. To be honest with you, it's really not that deep. And this also goes to show you too, the value of education has gone down significantly in this country because they're not even willing to protect these schools. They're not investing, they're cutting the budget. They're always cutting that education budget, right? To where parents are looking to send their kids to private schools or homeschooling them. And now this even more ammunition for parents to say, you know what? I don't feel like my kid is safe. They're going to do homeschool, virtual school. I don't know about other school systems around the country, but I know where I'm from. They have an option of doing virtual schooling. So it's it's going to be a possibility for a lot of parents because the first thing, you know, the thing about parents is that, you know, the big topic when it came to education was critical race theory, right? You got people for it, you got people against it. Nobody's ever brought up the safety of these schools. Nobody has ever thought, like, hey, is this school safe? I mean, do I have to worry about something going off? You know, some like I gotta be worried about my child when they go to school, something could possibly happen to them in school. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the safety when it comes to schools, right? They want to argue what's being taught instead of saying, is my child going to be protected? And another thing, too, I'm going to say this. I think social media has to, I mean, if you already have a contract with the government, right? I think you and you monitor. I know you guys monitor what's on your platforms. I know that, right? If something that's going on that you feel like suspicious, you also have the right to report them to the authorities. I mean, you so worried about people's, you know, hate speech and all this other things, nudity, but yet they're putting right in your face what's going to happen. They're doing it right in your face what's going to happen, and I don't think y'all saying anything. This is not the old days when it just shocked people. Something happened. Columbine, I remember I was a kid when that happened. I remember that, right? And yet, you know, we're in the age of technology where they're pretty much telling you what they're going to do. Now, I don't know what the motive behind this killing was, but the fact that you go after kids, that right there, that's, I don't think anybody should live because of that, in my opinion. You know, it's just, you have to be a sick individual to do some shit like that. Not only that, but to kill your own grandmother. Yeah, think about that. You know what I'm saying? So there's layers to it. There's layers to it, and it's due to the fact that you have you're going to have networks out there where um their demographics is the right or the left. They're gonna come up with something. And sometimes you just sit there, you just watch it, you be like, man, what the like that's full of shit. You know what I mean? It's just like you try to justify why things happen. Everything don't need justification for why it happened. You know, you saw what happened, you saw the result. You're trying to dive into a person, right? Sometimes you got people out here trying to make an excuse for the person. The other times you're trying to vilify a person. Even the victim themselves, you're trying to vilify the victim for what they did in their past. That's why I just look at it from the standpoint that if you're in the media, you have a responsibility. Sometimes there's no truth to it. There's personal feelings about it, opinions, right? It's kind of crazy that we know, and you got a lot of people who will believe everything that they hear. If you're able to take a step back and really just observe everything that's going on, you understand it's a bunch of BS that's going around at this point, right? It's a bunch of BS that's going around at this point. And it's sad to say because with when you think about what's been going on the last couple of years, right? We had COVID. We had an election, which it was just I don't know what to say about that. Then we have people that's upset about what their kids are learning in school. We have a food shortage. Gas prices are going up. Now we have to still worry about kids being safe at school. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? That's another thing you have to worry about, your kids being safe at school. And they said that the shooter, I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt saying his name. They said the shooter, I guess he barricaded himself. Like, I don't know how he got inside the school. I'm still trying to figure that out. How does that happen? He was a high school he was a high school student in that district. So why these kids? Why them? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't get no respect from me when you target kids whatsoever. No respect. And it's a shame that we're going to have people that's going to defend it, use this as a political tool. I mean, it's a shame that it's going to happen. And if you don't have common sense, when it comes to shit like this, then something is really wrong with you. It got to stop. It got to stop. It, like I said before, I'm a firm believer that, schools should have more protection. It's kind of crazy. Like when you look in the Black neighborhoods at their schools, they have metal detectors, but mass shootings don't happen at their schools. How come they don't put it in the suburbs? Don't they got money in the suburbs? Can they raise money in the suburbs to put metal detectors in the suburbs? Somebody explain that to me. I'm trying to figure that out. I believe every school, whether it's public or private, should have metal detectors. Personally, I think they should have metal detectors in their schools. I think they should have at least 2 officers in their schools. That's just my opinion. Some of you, I would say probably a good 90% of you will agree. And you're always going to have that 10% that's always going to disagree. So, once again, man, thoughts and prayers to the victims in Texas. Here at Drinking After Dark podcast, man, we're thinking about you. Unfortunate that this had to happen. And I just hope people in position of power are the leaders, the so-called leaders, are not going to argue about this. They're going to stand united as one and do something about it. Because y'all deserve it. Y'all need something done. Everybody else needs something done so we could prevent this from happening again. All right. Let's continue to move forward. Because that a situation like that you never want to see. And it's like it feel like it's becoming such a common occurrence to where people are now starting to get numb to it. And I think it's like at a point where if the leaders don't do something about it, somebody will. I hate to say it like that. So, I mean, I just hope everybody's on the same page. And, we all know this is a messed up situation and something could be done by it. But excuse me. So let's move on, man. Just real quick, if you want to advertise, if you want to promote on Drinking After Dark podcast, please send a DM on Facebook or Instagram. I'll discuss details with you. Also, too, everybody is welcome. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, just hit me up. Again, Facebook, Instagram. We could set that up. One thing about me, I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. In this case, I'm pretty much going to hold people accountable. So I'm not really getting into political beliefs. I just believe that, unfortunately, somebody will use this to push their political agendas. And I don't want that to happen. So, but yeah, pretty much we're here to have a great time. We're here to laugh, joke, have a couple of drinks. So and also y'all tell your friends and family about Drinking After Dark podcast, man. I'm trying to grow my social media pages. My TikTok page is growing. So, I'm trying to get right now up to 5,000. If I could get to 10,000, that'd be great. That's my goal. So y'all make sure y'all tell y'all friends and family about it, man, and continue to spread the word of Drinking After Dark podcast. We're a podcast that don't deal with drama, stuff like that. We will talk about the stuff that's in the news and things like that. Different things, whether sports, movies, music. It could be comedy. It could be movies, TV shows. Again, entertainment news, stuff like that. So, and if you have a business or anything like that, man, we'll talk about that. Give you a platform to really promote yourself and let other people know what you have going on. So that's what I'm all about. Sharing my platform with others. So, hey, and look, you could just be a friend of mine, a family member of mine, if you just want to come on and just kick it with me, hey man, you're more than welcome. But I'm gonna talk to you guys real quick about this video I saw on social media, right? Video was talking about the differences between his childhood and today's childhood, right? And I watched this video. I actually did a duet on this video on TikTok, and it was so funny and so true. To where I remember going over my granny's house. Once we went outside, we was outside. They weren't coming back inside unless we had to, unless we had to eat or we had to go to the bathroom. So I remember those days, and I also remember the days. And this was some kids don't know today. I remember the days where you trying to figure out where's everybody at, and all of a sudden you see like a pile of bikes in the front yard. He's like, "Oh, we over at this person's house today, or we at so and so house today." So you just show up, right? And those were the good old days, man. We did a lot of crazy stuff that parents didn't know about because we were outside. Today you gotta be careful because you got some crazy ass people out here, so you gotta be careful. But I tell you one thing, we did a lot. We experimented a lot. It was in the I always go back to my childhood memories because it was a lot of fun, right? My childhood memories, not only just what you saw on TV and movies, but things we did outside, riding our bikes, skating, firecracker wars, playing hide and go seek at night, not during the day, at night. You'll wear all black just to make sure you don't get caught, which is crazy. And things like that. So, and I remember playing ball outside for hours. Like it was nothing to go outside, especially during the summertime, and play ball for hours. You could be outside 4 or 5 hours playing ball, right? You basically had to be forced to come in. When they say you had to be in before the streetlights came on, you pretty much had to be forced to come in because you was having so much fun with your friends. So those are the memories I had. And this guy, he pretty much laid it down. So if you haven't checked out that video, go to Drinking After Dark podcast on TikTok. Check out that video. I'm telling you, it was funny to me. It was definitely funny to me. And here's another thing, man. If y'all want me to check out some videos and things like that, if you're on TikTok, y'all send them to me, man. Because I do post clips of my podcast that's, uploaded, but also too, man, I like to have a little fun, funny videos and things like that. So if you have anything that you want me to check out, man, y'all send them. Y'all could tag Drinking After Dark podcast. I'll check it out and I'll see what's what. Man, this was fun talking to you guys tonight. I know, tragedy struck. I know we're all, feeling that, especially if you're a parent like myself. We're feeling that and things like that. So, but I appreciate you guys supporting the podcast. Once again, follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Also, too, man, y'all hit that bell notification so y'all know when new episodes are uploaded. I upload all my episodes every Friday, midnight Central Time. So, and y'all can also listen on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So if you can't watch it on YouTube, y'all can listen, on the streaming services. And I think it's a couple of more that they're on. I mean, wherever you use for streaming, check it out. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for supporting me. Y'all go check out that article, NashvilleVoyager.com, on me, Darius Bagwell, So I appreciate them for doing it, like I said earlier. Until next time, people, man, I appreciate it. This is Darius from Drinking After Dark podcast, and I'm out. Peace.
Gotta get to the money. Gotta get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. So you know that I'm on it. Gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and me. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. And gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and they. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money.